What up, y'all? Alright, that was like two people. You know what I mean? I can look around, I can see y'all in y'all face. I'm gonna let y'all make that up to me. You know what I mean? What's up, y'all? There we go. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. Let's try one more time. What's up, y'all? So I want to welcome y'all to the BK Art Fest Day 3. This is the panel that we're doing right now. So make some noise for this lovely panel. This is the Digital Hustle Navigators of Greatness. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be talking about some very fun topics that I feel like artists should naturally, have in their mind, especially if you're an independent artist. Well, before anything, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm being hella rude. I will be hosting this panel. I go by the name of RQ Tech. Nobody got excited about that. It's so good. So thank you. See, the panel showed up, man. I will be your host this evening, Architect, and I guess a little about myself. I'm not only a rapper, a host, but I feel like I've learned a lot when it comes to the social media aspect, like unintentionally. I think personally, I feel like that's the best way that you learn, like just by trial and error, you know what I mean? Like you make mistakes and then you realize, oh, this kind of works best. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing that and try that. So yeah, I feel like I've understood for my platform what works best and all of that and everything. So just real quick, I just want us to go down, introduce yourselves, let them know what you guys do, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Make some noise for the panel, y'all.
Can I get a grrr? What's going on, everyone? My name is Juju. I go by Junique Designer on Instagram. I'm a fashion designer stylist. I also have my own podcast called Single Intervention, and I am a model and actor. You can catch me on Hulu's TV show called Dress My Tour as a fashion contestant.
Hi everyone, my name is Gianna. I am the event coordinator for a company called Dream Build Connect. This is a networking company, influencer, creative media marketing. I'm also part-time influencer, part-time model, do it all. Social media is pretty much my bread and butter, so I'm really happy to be here.
Hello everybody, my name is Ashley Pesos.
Yeah!
I guess I would just call myself an all-around creator. I make music, I style, I creative direct, and I'm just myself, and that has taken me a long way, and I'm very proud of that.
Yes!
Peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Ania Bay. I am a spiritual comedic influencer. I have a podcast where I have a podcast where I am a news host, and I'm also a brand content creator in the music industry. I'm also a stylist. I am also a child of God. So here we are.
Nah, I love that right there. Make some noise for this amazing panel already, you know what I mean? So I guess one of the interesting things I want to pick our brains on first is everyone has a very unique, demographic. Everyone has a very unique style and all that. So like, what really got you into like the platform that you're in now? Like, what did you feel called to it? Was it like, oh, this kind of just happened, I fell into it? Was it like, hey, the pandemic, I lost a lot, and now I got to figure out how to hustle and get on my P's and Q's? Like, what inspired you to get to where you're at now?
Well, definitely is the background of a hustler, okay? I think hustling and learning to survive is what got me where I'm at. I wasn't given a silver spoon. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I'm Latina, I'm Dominican Rican, and so I'm the first to graduate with a college degree from my family. So they were just very supportive to make sure I saw that out. You know what I mean? So I definitely had that support system, but In college, although I did get financial aid, there was still, $1,500 that had to be covered. You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to do makeup because YouTube University did. You know what I mean? If I can find it on YouTube, learn how to do it. That's what I picked up doing. I wanted to learn how to model, so I decided to do makeup for agency models so I can watch them model in front of the cameras. And then I decided to do photography and started, taking photos at parties so that I can network, just get my foot in the door and book the room versus the gig. And that's just what I've been applying ever since to everything that I've been doing. I've finally narrowed it down to the things that I said I am. So I always wanted to be a fashion designer, but then I got into music videos so that I could connect with the artists to then put the clothes on. So everything had, a reason, for that season. I've lived many lives. I've done many roles. I've been a PA. I've been, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm a hostess of everything. So if you're asking, I guess to narrow it down, it's just the hustle mentality. What got me where I'm at.
Okay, I love that. I think one of the crazy things is when we are in a field that we love and that's unique to us, it's always a very different story. Sometimes people is like, nah, I spent all my life trying to get here, while others are like, hey, this kind of just fell into my lap, and then now I'm where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like, I know for myself, I've been doing music for years now, but I really started to focus more on the social media aspect when the pandemic happened, because like I had a lot of time. So I was like, all right, I can't do these live shows. Everyone was like, nah, we're gonna have you perform on Instagram Live and all of that, and I didn't want to do that. So I had to figure out how to still allow myself to be seen. You know what I mean? So like, just like what you said, you have to adapt and learn, to better yourself in that aspect.
For me, I feel like social media has always kind of been something that I felt drawn to. I remember when Instagram first came out, and me and my friends were like, this is lit. Like, I still have my first photos from you scroll all the way down to the bottom of my page of when Instagram first became a thing, and those little sepia squares of just random photos and stuff. I've always been the person posting my life, and I think it's always really resonated with the people around me. I have a very tribe mentality. I love being in a community. I love having a friend group, and I think I've always been my friends call me paparazzi G. I've always been the one with the camera taking pictures of everything, making video edits of our parties and this and that. So it's kind of just been my thing always, and it wasn't until I actually met my boyfriend where he kind of opened my eyes to be you could actually monetize off of this. This is not just your personality, your hobby, you can actually make money off of it. And I think that's when I started taking it more seriously, oh, actually people really fuck with it to that point where brands do, and I can do things on that level and not just for fun. So now it's really both.
I guess, So I started doing what I do because I was bullied a lot when I was younger, and a lot of the things that they told me I wasn't gonna be good at or able to do, I just made sure that I did it all, and I did it as best as I could, and I think that's what pushes me also, with the realizing that I could get it monetized and make money off of it and be put into those rooms that I never would ever imagine. It motivated me to keep doing it, and now I really just try to spread that message of whatever you want to do, you can just get up and do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not good enough or nothing like that. So I think that really motivates everything that I do, because I really don't even care no more. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, I really don't care. And that's okay to feel like that. Some people think that's a little off energy. No, that's my energy. You don't have to like me, and I don't have to like you. That's fine. But if it resonates, let it resonate, and that's okay.
Now, I love that right there, because it goes to show. I remember somebody said something to me years ago where they were allow your struggle to be a ladder to your greatness. You know what I mean? So me, when I was a child, I used to stutter terribly. You know what I mean? And because kids made fun of me, I would go and read the dictionary. And so now I'm just learning words and all of that. And so like now that I'm older and I started doing music, like my mother, she'd be like, I feel like you started reading on words and now it's just developed superpower and like you be rapping all fast and all of that now. So it was like, it just reminded me of that. And I love hearing stories like that where people make fun of you and it's like, I got the last laugh now. You see where I'm at? You feel me?
I love that. Yes, just to piggyback what Ashley said, I kind of got here by saying no a lot. So I kind of started in PR, working with 135th Street Agency. So I did a lot of brand activations and placements of products and videos and, you know, PR events. And I realized it wasn't aligned. So I've learned how to not stay in places too long, right? So it's like, okay, this opportunity was presented. What did I get out of this? And is it something that I see myself doing in the next 6 months to a year? Because if it's not aligned, then I shouldn't really be there. So yeah, saying no has really gotten me to the point where now it's kind of like I utilize my voice to heal. You know, my news podcast is really about, you know, being above the fear mongering, being above all of the negativity that we are experiencing as a community. And also being a Black woman, you know, it's very difficult to even be seen in these spaces, right? So just continuing to know that I don't have to succumb to anything that I'm not comfortable with. You know, today you might feel like, oh, hey, I like doing this. And tomorrow you might be like, no, I don't anymore. And it's okay, because at the end of the day, it gets you closer to what God has for you anyway. So yeah, don't be afraid to say no. I've walked away from a lot of things. People are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, how could you not want to be a part of that? And I'm like, because again, it's not about what it looks like. It's about what it feels like for me. So.
Amen.
That's facts. Sometimes the no can be the biggest blessing you've ever received in your life, and you just don't know it yet.
Yes.
But later on, God will like, hey, remember that no? Look at it now. You know? So I want to ask this question. When it comes to all of y'all in y'all craft, how do you figure out, I know we was talking about this earlier, how do you figure out your demographic to like pitch to? You know what I mean? Like whatever your product is, how do you figure out how to sell it to people on social media? Or like how to pitch yourself, or how to get the engagement, or how to make and monopolize the best that you can through your social media platform? Like how do you figure out, oh, okay, so I got more male followers or female followers or etc.
So for me, it's whoever could resonate. Because what I've learned, people think I'm younger than I am. I'm about to be 33 this year. People think, oh my God, what? You look like you're 23. Your skin's so good. I'm like, okay, thanks. Thank you. No, I know, but it's like, I feel like they discredit my experience because they assume that I'm younger.
Yes.
Right? So for me, it's like I still have to play this young, you know, this millennial, like, oh my God, so check out this new product because of the, you know what I mean? And then it's like, but did you hear about how the Y2K is coming back and like, you know what I'm saying, that fashion, you know? So it's like, it's really hard. So I'm to the point where like Ashley said, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna put it out there because people sell it to you no matter how young, old, you know, skinny, tall you are. It's really you gotta find your niche.
Yeah.
And sometimes your niche it will be in a untouched territory, you know what I mean? Like I went to the club the other day. I work at this club in Newark. It's called Envy Bar, and sometimes we get sprinkles. I don't know if you know what sprinkles are. We get, you know, Newark is known for having African American, Latino, you know, demographic, and then we get sprinkles, which are, you know, the light skinned people, and you know the Indians, or you know the people that didn't grow up there. So they be knowing all the lyrics, and I don't want to say a culture shock, but it just humbles me to know that anybody, doesn't matter color, age, again demographic, if they fuck with it, they gonna love it and rock it and be proud of it. Yeah. So I no longer take to social media as, okay, cool, well I'm Latin, I'm this, I'm a woman, and I need to talk about feminine. No, if I don't I play Call of Duty, but I dress like this. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh my God, what? No, you don't. What's your gun? I'm like, well, it's an AK, you know, it's this, is that, it's, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's an AK-47, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I play, you know, free-for-all. But the idea is that you just have to continue putting authenticity, and the people that really resonate with you will then be gravitated towards you. Yeah. And although, yeah, my audience is male dominant, the women are the ones that are supporting more than the males. So do you see it that way? Are you supposed to?
Yeah.
They follow me because I'm a female.
Right.
But are they really engaging with me? So that's the way I feel like people need to look at social media. Who's actually interacting, commenting, liking, sharing, supporting, because that's who you need to really connect with, not because somebody's following you because you look good.
And I think that's a big thing, because a lot of times we'll look at people who have, let's say, 80K followers or like 100K followers, whatever, right? But those sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes those be the same people who can't bring 5 people to a show. You know what I mean? So you're like, and so it's just like, yeah, well, of course, yeah. But it's just like what you said, like sometimes just because somebody's following you does not mean that they're really tapped in or engaged with what you have going on. You know what I mean? Just because they're following you don't necessarily mean that they're fans or are going to go above and beyond to support you.
It's about quality versus quantity, and unfortunately these other brands, these big brands, look at quantity over quality, because us micro influencers will do amazing videos, but because we don't have 100K followers, they won't book us or pay us that rate. So that's a little unfortunate, and I just hope that we continue to push the needle for any, micro influencers out there. Keep doing your thing, somebody's watching, and for me, it's not about how many followers I have, it's actually who's following me. If you go with my following, you'll see it's legends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, that I feel like I'm doing something more than my count.
Just to piggyback off of that, I feel that the same thing about when you're authentic, that's when you start to figure out what your niche is, what your demographic is. If you're just posting for the sake of posting, or you're trying to emulate like some influencer that maybe has like that clean girl aesthetic or like XYZ, like you're trying to like ride the wave of like what you think is gonna be what people like, that's how you're not gonna find your demographic. But the second you start to be authentic, that's really how I figured out what my demographic is, because I actually started recently speaking in my videos. Like, I realized like for a while I was just posting pictures of myself and people don't know me. Like, they don't actually know me. They don't know what my vibe is. They see me and they decide who I am based on what they see, based on a photo. But then when I'm like talking or I'm being like silly or something in a video, they actually get to know who I am as a person. And then they're like, oh, like this girl's pretty cool. Like, I fuck with her. Like, it's different than me just being like a model, like in a nice dress, like posting, like maybe looking like a biatch or something. You know, like you never know. And so I think that's how you can find people to really resonate with your audience, because it'd be the same people in my comments that are supporting me, that are sharing my stuff on their story, that when I see them in person, it's all love. Like, that's the demographic you want to find and strive to make content for. Like, the randoms that are in your followers do not matter. And when you find that you like, everybody like follows people and has people that they emulate on Instagram, like that they like their page and stuff. But what I'm realizing, especially in the industry I'm in creative marketing, like I come across so many influencers on Instagram because that's my job, is to find them. So literally 90% of these people bought followers. I go, it's my job to check because I have to try and sell them to brands and stuff. And like, there's people who are like getting these huge brand deals because they literally spent, I don't even know how much it costs to get 100K, but like they did that. And it's like, that's not authentic. Like, and is it really worth it? Like, yeah, I'm sure, like, it's almost like selling your soul. Like, why do you want to do that? Like, I get it, it brings opportunity, but wouldn't you rather your audience be just so authentic and so genuine that they're under your comments and they're sharing your stuff, and when you run into them in person, it's all love? Like, I think that's how you want to try to find your niche and your demographic, the people who are really resonating with your content and like fucking with you in real life.
And to add on to that, people don't realize if you're buying bots, if you're buying followers and all of that, that's gonna mess up your algorithm. It's gonna mess up how Instagram or social media is gonna send it to potential new followers and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, so even if like, I remember I was with Frank and we were at some event where they had like a lot of like dope execs and all of that, and we were talking to somebody who was an AR at a record label, and they said off rip, we look for people, for artists with at least 100K followers, minimum, you know what I mean? So it's like, I understand the perception of people being like, oh, okay, let me buy this, I got the 100K, they were like, I got the talent, now I'm gonna go get signed, I'm do the thing. But it's like, yo, you're not realizing that this is hurting you in the long run, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should use your social media platform as kind of like what you say, being authentic, the testing ground. I realized for myself, there was a season where I was only posting music. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like, I feel like I'm very great at what I do, but sometimes we have to take into account what's called social media. So people want to see like the day-to-day, the behind the scenes. People want to see the real you know what I mean? Like, not just the highlights of all the fun stuff. Sometimes being honest and vulnerable, being like, hey, look, I threw an event and 5 people showed up. You know what I mean? Like, dang, and you might get people to tap in like, dang, I've been there, and now they're establishing this relationship with you because they relate like, oh wow, I didn't think you went through that too. Okay, you